Permanent makeup in 2025 is not what it used to be. If you were trained in a weekend seminar course, or if you're still relying on outdated techniques like microblading, this video is your wake-up call. Today, we're breaking down exactly how board certification, licensing, and training are changing in this upcoming year. If you're a new artist thinking about getting licensed in 2026, this video is for you. If you're actually a client looking to get permanent makeup done in 2026, this video is also for you, because we're going to show you how to spot artists who are no longer operating with a valid license. In New Jersey specifically, with this new update to certification requirements, a lot of people just lost their licenses. Let's get into it. Up until very recently, permanent makeup as an industry was a free-for-all. PMU has been criminally unregulated, famously hated by tattoo artists, and known for some of the most dramatic transformations you've ever seen in your life, for better and for worse. With the rise of social media transparency, rising consumer expectations, and the growing popularity of tattooing in the medical space, this industry is finally catching up to where it should have been years ago. More states are tightening licensing rules, starting with New Jersey and Massachusetts operating with certifying bodies like the AAM and the SPCP. These state-approved institutions now require recertification every 2 years. This means no more lifetime board certification, which means no more licenses for life. Now let's get into the new AAM and SPCP requirements in 2026. Just to recap, the AAM is the American Academy of Micropigmentation. The SPCP is the Society for Permanent Cosmetic Professionals. These two state-approved institutions are responsible for certification, and in some states, these institutions serve as regulators that judge whether or not a person gets a PMU license. As of 2025, the AAM no longer grants certification for life. The AAM and SPCP require recertification every 2 years moving forward. This means that finally, artists out there who have been microblading since the 2010s are no longer allowed to use their decade-old certificate as proof of training in 2025. In states like New Jersey and Massachusetts, where board certification is required, these changes will immediately redefine who is and who isn't legally permitted to practice. Of course, this is great news for permanent makeup clients who stand to benefit the most every time we raise the bar. To stay certified, you now need to prove your technical skills with photo documentation of client work and then provide proof of continuing education every 2 years. Recertification also introduces stricter oversight, so this requires artists to prove that they're maintaining liability insurance and renewing their bloodborne pathogen OSHA certification. So by requiring us to recertify every 2 years, we're also proving that all of these credentials are still active and valid within 2 years' time. This is very important for safety. As permanent makeup artists, we're breaking the skin and creating alterations to people's faces. Practicing with outdated techniques is bad enough, but not having proper insurance or OSHA certifications is quite honestly inexcusable. PMU is not meant to be a cash grab, never should have been, and now it's going to be a lot more difficult for people who aren't serious about cosmetic tattooing to get into this kind of space. Here's what this means for students. Seeing the regulations getting stricter might sound intimidating, but for trainees, this is actually a huge advantage. People have been coming at me with this industry is oversaturated rant since I started a decade ago. It's been 10 years now almost. Yeah, it's been 10 years now, and every year I'm thinking the same thing. We need more talent. We need more artists. I mean, granted, yes, there are so many bad tattooers who are struggling to find work. On the other side of the coin, we look at the experiences of excellent tattooers who take pride in their work. And these are the people who are booked out for months. They have people flying in from every state just to work with them, and competition was never an issue. This has been my experience for 10 years. The truth is, everybody wants a glow up. PMU is in higher and higher demand now that the tech and techniques are better than ever before. A trainee can realistically become a pro in less than half a year with no college degree needed and therefore no college debt. So in short, There is a seat at our table for everyone, but you'll never reach this table if you cut corners. Well, stricter regulations and higher standards can pretty much guarantee that a lot of artists are going to lose their credentials and quit. But ask yourself this: how would this affect me? The new requirements are actually going to filter out the cash grab artists who cut corners and do bad tattoos. As long as you're committed to creating high-level results, you'll actually benefit from these people getting weeded out. Here's what this means for our clients. Now that requirements are higher and recertification is now mandatory, having a valid board certification now distinguishes artists more than ever, especially with clients looking for professionalism and safety. As a client, it's never a bad idea to check the certificates that are hanging on your artist's walls. Their credentials are up there loud and proud, probably required by law, but still, each cert is meant to be there for you to read. Look for the following: a facilities inspection report, usually issued by the local health department, a training certificate with your artist's name. Remember that only the ones with these logos from the AAM and SPCP are recognized and state approved in the US. A state approved license or permit. Look for either a body art practitioner license, a tattoo technician license, or any kind of local health department permit. Here's where it gets a little tricky. States can vary in leniency, so be sure to check your licensing requirements by state to make sure that your artist is actually legally allowed to practice. You can do this by going on hyperrealacademy.com under licensing requirements by state. It's really easy, I promise. It takes you right there. So I learned so much from Makeup Forever Academy, but this certificate holds absolutely no weight when it comes to me practicing legally as an artist. However, my AAM Gold Certificate, renewed in 2025, shows that not only am I currently certified by this institution to legally practice in New Jersey, but it also proves that I have my OSHA bloodborne pathogen certificate up to date, and my insurance is also up to date. This also proves that I have my continuing education and my recent professional work has been checked for quality. Any issues with any of the above means that I don't get my certificate and I don't get to practice legally. In the next coming year, the most notable thing that clients should look out for is the year on their artist's AAM or SPCP certificate. If your artist is displaying any certificate with this logo or this logo, you need to make sure that it is issued within 2 years in order for it to be valid. Without board certification, you can still check for proof of insurance in the facility's license or permit, and you can also check that your artist is practicing with a valid bloodborne pathogen certificate. As a client, you really don't want anyone to break your skin and do a tattoo on you without having the required credentials. So speaking of breaking the skin, is this the end of microblading? In 2026, there's really no valid reason to rely on microblading, which is a hand technique, when there is literally every type of machine that does the job for you. Technology has moved forward, there's no doubt about it. Recertification forces the issue. It pushes artists to drop outdated methods and to level up with real machine techniques. The AAM does not certify new artists who solely perform microblading. You have to demonstrate machine proficiency if you want to get certified. However, they have certified microbladers in the past. Now that recertification is mandatory, there really won't be any gaps left. So what does this mean? It means you pick up a machine and do tattoos the safe way, or you lose your certificate. Here's what artists should do now. If you're already board certified and licensed, or are considering getting board certified, here's what you're going to need to have. Document your professional client procedures. Make sure to keep your before and after photos according to the standard photo guidelines set by the AAM or the SPCP, whichever one gave you your license. Stay up to date with local state rules. Secure your liability insurance and keep that up to date along with your bloodborne pathogens OSHA certification. If you are board certified, you're going to plan for recertification every 2 years indefinitely. And that comes with mandatory continuing education. I know a lot of people are gonna roll their eyes, but here's how you can make the most of this mandatory requirement. You can choose a specialization. All top earning permanent makeup artists specialize in one or more advanced skills. like nanobrows, color neutralization, or SNP. These skills are a lot harder to do than core skills like powder brows and regular lip blush. They're going to have a higher learning curve, and because less people are capable of doing this at a professional level, these skills are highly requested and they do make people a lot of money. So if you're required to do continuing education anyway, you might as well pick up a specialization in an advanced skill. Challenge yourself and you will be rewarded as a permanent makeup professional. At Hyperreal Academy, we've already aligned with the AAM's new recertification model. To be honest, this comes very easy because we've been teaching advanced programs since 2020, so we do have a leg up on this part. Recertification can be easy and rewarding here, especially when we've excelled in advanced technical training. So we have access to the best permanent makeup technology, and that comes with the best advanced techniques in all of modern permanent makeup. If you have any questions about getting licensed or training in any type of technique from core to advanced, you can email us at any time at info@hyperrealacademy.com. Our academy is here to support artists at every stage of their careers. And remember, there is a seat at our table for everyone. If you like this video, give us a like, share, and comments. And if you want more free permanent makeup education, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. And I'll see you next time.